Well, well, my black ex-wife. Still dressing above your class, I see. A supermarket parking lot, Ashford, Georgia. Rain just stopped. Mud puddles everywhere. Derek, please. I'm just getting groceries. Groceries? He laughs. His blonde mistress laughs louder. A black woman from the projects, buying organic? Know your place, Penny. I'm 7 months pregnant. Please, just let me... Pregnant. His eyes drop to her belly. Disgust. Some ghetto thug knocked you up? Back where you belong. He guns the Escalade straight through the muddy puddle. Brown filth explodes, drenching her face, her coat, her pregnant belly. His mistress waves. Bye-bye, welfare queen. Penny stands frozen, dripping mud, silent. She does not cry. She does not scream. She dials one number. William, come home. Now. Derek Harrison believes he just destroyed his poor black ex-wife in front of his new woman. He has no idea who she married. He's about to find out. Stay. 6 hours earlier, Penelope Ellis wakes to the sound of rain against glass. The Craftsman House in Inman Park sits quiet in the gray morning light. Original hardwood floors creak beneath her feet. The kitchen smells of yesterday's coffee. Blueprints spread across the dining table, something about an expansion project in Ashford. Penny does not look at them closely. Her husband's work is his own. She is 32 years old, 7 months pregnant. A preschool teacher at Sunshine Academy. These are the facts of her life now. 4 years ago, she could not buy groceries without permission. 4 years ago, she apologized for breathing too loudly. She is done being small. Penny moves through her morning routine with careful efficiency. She showers. She dresses. The beige coat, her favorite, bought with her own money. She packs her lunch. A turkey sandwich. An apple. Small choices. Ordinary choices. The kind that once felt revolutionary. Her husband left before dawn. Meetings with county commissioners, he said. She kissed him goodbye in the darkness, his hand warm against her belly where their daughter kicked. William Ellis works in real estate. That is what Penny tells colleagues when they ask. It is technically true. It is also wildly incomplete. But Penny likes incomplete. Incomplete means privacy. She drives a Honda CR-V, 4 years old. She refused the Mercedes William offered. Too flashy. Too much attention. The route to Sunshine Academy takes her through downtown Ashford, past the car dealerships with their bright flags. She drives past Harrison Motors every morning, the flagship location, 3 acres of gleaming inventory. She does not look at it. She does not slow down. Derek James Harrison is her past. William Thomas Ellis is her present. She has worked hard to keep them separate. At school, the children swarm her. Miss Penny, Miss Penny, look what I drew. She kneels, carefully, one hand on her belly, and examines a crayon portrait of a purple dog. Beautiful, she says. Tell me about him. This is what she loves. The small moments, the uncomplicated joy. The children do not know about her first marriage. They only know that Miss Penny smells like vanilla and always has extra snacks. Her colleague Sarah pokes her head into the classroom at noon. How's William? Still busy? Always, Penny says. You know how it is. Sarah does not know how it is. Sarah does not know that William's project involves $2 billion in real estate. Sarah does not know that the man Penny married could buy this entire school district without noticing. Penny prefers it this way. At 2 o'clock, she gathers her things. The afternoon is free. She decides to stop at Eastgate Shopping Center for groceries. Milk, bread, the organic peanut butter William likes. October 15th, a Tuesday. An ordinary afternoon. She has no idea what is waiting in that parking lot. The drive takes 15 minutes. Penny listens to a podcast about early childhood development, making mental notes for next week's lesson plan. The rain has stopped, leaving the roads slick and shining. Ashford is a small town trying to be bigger. Strip malls and fast food chains, a downtown that peaked in 1985. Everyone knows everyone, which means everyone knows everyone's business. Penny learned this the hard way during her marriage to Derek. The whispers, the looks, the way people pretended not to see the bruises she tried to hide. She shakes off the memory. That was another life, another woman. The woman she is now does not flinch at loud noises. The woman she is now sleeps through the night. The woman she is now is building something beautiful, a family, a career, a future. The Eastgate shopping center appears on her right. She signals, turns, finds a parking spot near the entrance. Her phone buzzes. A text from William. Home by 7. Love you. How's our girl? She smiles. Types back. Kicking up a storm. See you tonight. She has no idea that in 20 minutes, everything will change. The Eastgate Shopping Center parking lot is half empty at 2:07 p.m. Penny parks near the entrance. The rain has stopped, but puddles remain, shallow lakes reflecting the gray October sky. She gathers her purse, checks her phone, and steps out of the car. The air smells of wet asphalt and fallen leaves. She does not notice the black Escalade idling 3 rows away. Inside the store, she moves through the aisles with purpose. Milk, bread, peanut butter. A package of onesies catches her eye, yellow, with tiny ducks. She adds them to her cart. Their daughter will look perfect in yellow. The checkout line moves slowly. The cashier is new, fumbling with produce codes. Penny does not mind. She watches the rain begin again through the automatic doors. At 2:34 p.m., she exits the store. The Escalade has moved. It now sits directly across from her car, engine running. Penny sees him before he sees her. Derek Harrison. Her stomach drops. Not fear. She is past fear. Something colder. Recognition of a threat she thought she had escaped. He is 38 now. Still handsome in that aggressive country club way. Still wearing the self-satisfied smile she remembers from the day she filed for divorce. Beside him, a young blonde woman examines her manicure. Brittany Cole, 26, Derek's current girlfriend. For a moment, Penny considers going back inside, waiting him out. Then she thinks, no, I am done hiding. She walks toward her car. Her heels click against wet pavement. Derek sees her. His smile widens. Well, well, he says, loud enough to carry. Penny, look at you. His eyes travel to her belly. You've been busy. She does not respond, keeps walking, 20 feet to her car. 15. Ignoring me? Derek shifts the Escalade into drive. That's rude, Pen. Thought I taught you better manners. Brittany giggles. A high, sharp sound. Penny reaches her car, unlocks it, starts loading groceries. The Escalade rolls forward, slowly, deliberately. There is a puddle between them, 6 inches deep, brown with runoff from the construction site next door. Penny sees it. Derek sees it. He accelerates. The tires hit the water at speed. A wall of mud erupts, brown, cold, thick with grit. It catches Penny across the chest, the face, the belly where her daughter sleeps. It soaks through the beige coat. It splatters her groceries. Derek stops, lowers his window fully. Oops, he is grinning. Didn't see you there, Pen. Brittany laughs. Maybe she should watch where she's standing. Penny does not move, does not wipe her face, does not cry. She stands perfectly still and stares at Derek Harrison with an expression he has never seen before. Not fear, not anger. Something quieter. Something that makes his smile falter. She is memorizing his license plate. She is counting witnesses. She is calculating. 40 feet away, a security guard leans against his Honda Civic, watching. His name is Calvin Brown. He is 28 years old. His dash cam is running. He does not trust the police in this town, but he trusts his camera. Nothing to say? Derek sounds uncertain now. He wanted tears. He wanted begging. He wanted the old Penny. That's new? Penny finally speaks. Her voice is calm. Drive away, Derek, while you still can. He laughs, uncertain, and accelerates out of the lot. Brittany waves through the rear window. Penny stands in the parking lot, rain washing the mud from her face, and pulls out her phone. William, I need you to come home. The drive home takes 45 minutes. Penny does not remember most of it. She remembers the mud drying on her skin, stiffening, cracking. She remembers the smell, dirt and exhaust, and something metallic. She remembers her hands shaking on the steering wheel. She does not cry. She stopped crying over Derek Harrison 3 years ago. But something else is happening inside her. Something quiet and cold and patient. Something that feels like calculation. By the time she pulls into the driveway of the Inman Park house, she has made a decision. This time, she will not let it go. This time, she will not be silenced. This time, Derek Harrison has picked the wrong woman. The Ashford Police Department smells of burnt coffee and old carpet. Penny sits in a plastic chair, her coat still damp, a manila folder in her hands. Across the counter, Officer Jennings types with 2 fingers, his eyes fixed on his screen. So, you're saying, he reads from his notes, that your ex-husband drove through a puddle and splashed you. Deliberately, Penny says. He made eye contact. Then he accelerated into the water. Ma'am, Jennings sighs. Splashing someone with puddle water isn't exactly assault. There's a history. We were married for 6 years. I've filed complaints before. Jennings checks his computer, types, frowns. I'm not seeing any prior complaints under your name. I filed one in 2019, when he followed me to my apartment. More typing. Nothing here. Are you sure you filed it in Ashford? Penny is sure. She remembers the officer's name, the case number, the promise to follow up that never came. But the record is gone, erased, as if it never happened. Jennings hands her a slip of paper, case number 2024 to 1892. Status, pending review. We'll look into it, he says. Someone will be in touch. No one is in touch. Not that day, not the next. On October 18th, Penny's phone buzzes with a text from Derek's number. You think you can move on? Think again. I made you. I can unmake you. She screenshots it, saves it, forwards it to her email. On October 22nd, Derek appears at Sunshine Academy. Penny sees him through the classroom window during nap time. He stands at the chain-link fence, hands in pockets, watching. Just watching. Her heart pounds so hard she can hear it. She calls the front office. The principal calls the police. 20 minutes later, a patrol car arrives. 2 officers approach Derek. They talk. Derek laughs. One officer shakes his hand. He walks to his Escalade and drives away. One of the officers, Russell Davis, chief of detectives, stops by the school office. False alarm, ma'am. Mr. Harrison was just in the neighborhood, wanted to see how his ex-wife was doing. No law against that. He was watching my classroom. He was on a public sidewalk. Davis shrugs. Can't arrest someone for standing. That evening, Penny files for a restraining order. The clerk accepts her paperwork without looking up. Judge Morrison handles these. He'll review it next week, maybe the week after. On October 23rd, her phone rings. Unknown number. Hey, Pen. Derek's voice is cheerful. Heard you've been busy, talking to cops, filing papers. Don't call me again. Here's the thing. His voice hardens. I know everyone in this town. The sheriff. We golf together. The judge handling your restraining order. He bought his Lexus from me. Penny says nothing. You want to fight me in Ashford? Go ahead. See how far you get. The line goes dead. That night, William comes home late. He finds Penny at the kitchen table, police reports spread before her. "Tell me," he says. She tells him everything. The mud, the texts, Derek at the school, the missing complaint, the officers who shook Derek's hand. William listens without interrupting. His face reveals nothing. When she finishes, he asks one question. "Harrison Motors, the flagship location on Ashford Boulevard?" Penny frowns. "Yes, why?" William walks to his home office, returns with a folder. Inside, a lease agreement. Tenant, Harrison Motors, Inc. Landlord, Ellis Development Group, LLC. "What is this?" Penny whispers. "Derek Harrison has been paying rent to my company for 6 years. William's voice is calm. $2.1 million total. He has no idea who owns his building. Penny stares at the document. The signatures, the dates. Monthly rent, $28,500. "Did you know? When we met?" "No. I have 45 tenants in that plaza. I don't memorize names." He pauses. "I found out 6 months after we married. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to think about him." The kitchen is silent. "William," Penny says slowly, "what are you going to do?" He picks up his phone, dials from memory. "Raymond? It's William Ellis. I need you in Atlanta tomorrow. Bring your team." The call lasts 3 minutes. William speaks in short, precise sentences. Penny catches fragments. Full background, financial records, every complaint. When he hangs up, he sits across from her. "Raymond Cross," he explains. "Private investigator, former FBI, 22 years. He finds things people want to stay hidden." "And then what?" William considers the question. "Then we see exactly who's been protecting Derek Harrison, and we make them stop." Penny looks at the lease agreement, at her husband, at the life she has built from the ashes of her first marriage. "I don't want revenge," she says quietly. "I just want him to leave me alone." "I know." William takes her hands. "But men like Derek don't stop because you ask nicely. They stop when they have no other choice." She thinks about the mud on her coat, the officers who shook Derek's hand, the restraining order gathering dust on a judge's desk. "Okay," she says. "Do it." William nods, squeezes her hands. "There's something else you should know." He pulls out his phone, shows her a web page. Forbes, Georgia. A photograph of himself in a tailored suit. Net worth, $1.5 billion. Penny stares at the number. "Derek Harrison thinks he's powerful because he owns 3 car dealerships and bought a sheriff," William says. "He's about to learn the difference between local money and real money." For the first time since the parking lot, Penny feels something other than anger. She feels hope. Raymond Cross arrives the following morning. He is 58 years old, gray hair, military short, a handshake that communicates 22 years with the FBI. He does not smile. He does not make small talk. He sits at the kitchen table, opens a leather portfolio, and waits. William slides the lease agreement across, then the police reports, then the screenshots of Derek's texts. "I want everything," William says. His finances, his relationships with officials, every complaint ever filed against him. Cross reviews the documents. His expression does not change. "Timeline? Take your time. Do it right." William leans back. "I'm not going anywhere. Neither is he." Penny watches from the doorway. She has known William for 2 years, married him 18 months ago. She knows he is wealthy. She knows he builds things. She did not know the full scope until yesterday. "You haven't told her everything," Cross observes, glancing at Penny. "Told me what?" William meets her eyes. "Penny, Derek Harrison thinks he's powerful because he owns 3 car dealerships and bought himself a sheriff. He believes he's the biggest fish in Ashford." He walks to the window. The Atlanta skyline glitters in the morning light. He's not the biggest fish. He's not even close. Cross pulls out his phone. Shows Penny another article. Forbes. William Ellis. How one developer reshaped Atlanta's skyline. Ellis Development Group owns over $2 billion in real estate across Georgia, Cross says. Your husband built the affordable housing that county commissioners cut ribbons on. The lieutenant governor attended your baby shower. Penny remembers that. She thought the woman was someone's friend. When William Ellis calls the governor's office, Cross continues, they answer. When he expresses concerns about corruption, people listen. Penny sets down her tea. Her hands are trembling. Why didn't you tell me? William turns from the window. Because I didn't want you to think I was like him, using money to control people. He crosses the room, takes her hands. There's a difference between controlling people and protecting them. Derek Harrison is about to learn that difference. Penny thinks about the mud, the officers, the missing complaint. What happens now? Now, Cross says, we follow the money. We see exactly who Derek Harrison has been paying to look the other way. He gathers his files. I'll have preliminary findings within 72 hours. Financial records, campaign contributions. If there's a network protecting him, I'll find it. At the door, he pauses. Mrs. Ellis, the man who did this to you, he thinks he owns Ashford. He doesn't know he's been swimming in your husband's pond the whole time. The door closes. Penny stands in her kitchen, her husband's arm around her shoulders, and feels something she has not felt in years. Not hope, not yet, but the beginning of it. That night, Penny cannot sleep. She lies in bed, one hand on her belly, staring at the ceiling. William breathes steadily beside her, but she knows he is awake too. What if it doesn't work? She whispers. It will work. How do you know? William is quiet for a moment. When he speaks, his voice is soft. Because Derek Harrison has spent 15 years believing his money makes him untouchable. He's never met someone with more. He doesn't know the rules are different at this level. What rules? At his level, money buys protection. At my level, money buys accountability. He turns to face her. Every donation he made, every favor he called in, every complaint that disappeared, it's all documented somewhere, and Raymond will find it. Penny thinks about this. I'm scared, she admits. I know. William pulls her close. But you're not alone anymore. You haven't been alone since the day I met you. She closes her eyes, feels her daughter kick. Maybe hope is not so far away after all. Raymond Cross works fast. Within 48 hours, he has assembled a team, 2 forensic accountants, a paralegal specializing in public records, and a contact inside the Georgia Secretary of State's office. They set up in a conference room at Ellis Development headquarters. Whiteboards line the walls. Documents pile on every surface. The coffee machine runs 20 hours a day. On October 27th, Cross delivers his first report. The complaint your wife filed in 2019, he tells William. It wasn't deleted. It was moved. Archived in a restricted folder only supervisors can access. He produces a printout. Complaint No. 2019-0445. Filed by Penelope Harrison. Status: archived. Archived by Sergeant Russell Davis. Davis is now chief of detectives, Cross continues. The same officer who told your wife that Derek Harrison was just standing on a public sidewalk. Penny stares at the document. Her own words, typed 5 years ago, hidden, as if she never mattered. It gets worse, Cross says. Campaign finance records. Derek Harrison has been contributing to Sheriff Tom Bradley since 2020. The numbers are precise. $15,000 per year. 4 years, $60,000. But that's just direct contributions. Cross flips the page. He's also donated to 3 county commissioners through PACs. George Hendricks received $48,000. Patricia Webb got $52,000. James Thornton, $41,000. Total network investment, Cross summarizes, $201,000 across 4 elected officials. That's what it costs to own Ashford County. William studies the numbers. Can we prove they knew? That they were protecting him for money? Cross smiles, the first smile Penny has seen from him. I have emails. He produces another document, an email chain from Ashford Police Department's internal server. The first email, dated September 2019, from davis.r@ashfordpd.gov to patrol supervisors at ashfordpd.gov. Subject, Harrison complaint. Chief says hold off. He's a friend of the department. The second email, 3 weeks later, from davis.r@ashfordpd.gov to records@ashfordpd.gov. Subject, archive request, move complaint, Mar 2019-0445 to restricted archive. Per Chief Bradley's instructions. Penny reads the words 3 times. Her complaint was deliberately buried by the chief of police at the request of his donor. There's more, Cross says. Russell Davis purchased a home in March 2020, $380,000. His salary is $67,000. He put down $95,000 in cash. William nods. Follow it. Already am. But this isn't just one cop doing favors. This is a system. If you've ever had someone with power erase the evidence of what they did to you, you know why this matters. Stay with me. While Cross investigates, Sandra Moore begins her own inquiry. Sandra is 35, an investigative reporter for the Atlanta Tribune. She receives an anonymous tip on October 28th, a manila envelope containing Harrison's campaign contributions and a note. Look deeper. She does not know the envelope came from Raymond Cross. She does not need to. Within a week, Sandra has filed 17 public records requests. She has interviewed former employees of Harrison Motors. She has mapped the connections. What she finds makes her sick. It's not just your client's wife, she tells her editor. There are 3 other women who filed complaints against Harrison, all dismissed, withdrawn, or lost. Amanda Cole. Complaint filed 2018. Status, withdrawn, though Amanda never signed any withdrawal. Jennifer Walsh. Complaint filed 2016. Status, lost in system transfer. Rachel Adams. Complaint filed 2020. Status, insufficient evidence, though no investigation occurred. 3 women, 3 complaints, 3 failures. He has a type, Sandra writes, and a system that enables him. On November 3rd, William makes a phone call. George? His voice is pleasant. It's William Ellis. How's the family? Commissioner George Hendricks fumbles with his phone. Good. What can I do for you? I'm looking at the Riverside project permits. They seem delayed. Hendricks clears his throat. I'm sure we can expedite. I'm also looking at your campaign finance reports. Interesting donor list. Silence. I'm not asking you to do anything illegal, William continues. I'm asking you to stop doing something illegal. Stop protecting Derek Harrison. William, you don't understand. The Tribune story runs in 2 weeks, George, with or without your name in it. He hangs up. That night, George Hendricks does not sleep. Neither does Sheriff Tom Bradley. Neither does Russell Davis, who finds a Tribune reporter outside his house with questions about $95,000. The network that protected Derek Harrison is beginning to crack, and Derek Harrison has no idea that his landlord is the one doing the cracking. The investigation expands in 2 directions simultaneously. Raymond Cross focuses on the financial trail. He traces payments from Harrison Motors to political action committees to campaign funds. He documents every lunch, every golf game, every favor. Sandra Moore focuses on the victims. She tracks down Amanda Cole in Savannah. Amanda agrees to speak on the record for the first time in 6 years. He cornered me in the break room, Amanda tells Sandra. her voice steady but her hands shaking. "When I filed the complaint, I thought the system would protect me. 2 days later, I was fired. A week later, the complaint disappeared." Jennifer Walsh, now in Charlotte, sends a notarized statement. Rachel Adams writes a detailed email to the FBI tip line. The pattern becomes undeniable. Derek Harrison has been targeting women for at least 8 years, and the system has been protecting him every single time. On November 5th, Cross presents his final preliminary report. "It's bigger than we thought," he tells William and Penny. "Harrison Motors has been engaged in title washing, buying salvage vehicles, falsifying histories, selling them as clean, odometer fraud, unreported cash transactions over $10,000. Federal crimes," William says. "Exactly. Crimes that have nothing to do with the Ashford Sheriff's Department. Crimes that belong to the FBI." Penny absorbs this. So it's not just harassment anymore. No. Cross closes his folder. This is now a federal corruption case, and Derek Harrison is at the center of it. William looks at Penny. "Are you ready for what comes next?" She thinks about the mud on her coat, about Amanda Cole and Jennifer Walsh and Rachel Adams, about all the women who were silenced before her. "Yes," she says. "I'm ready." On November 6th, William Ellis places a call to FBI agent Daniel Reeves at the Atlanta field office. "I have evidence of public corruption in Ashford County," he says. "Campaign finance violations, obstruction of justice, and federal financial crimes. I'd like to arrange a meeting." Agent Reeves agrees to meet the following morning. The wheels of justice, so long frozen, begin to turn. Derek Harrison, meanwhile, sits in his flagship dealership, reviewing sales numbers, completely unaware that his world is about to collapse. He will learn the truth tomorrow. Derek Harrison learns the truth on November 7th. He is in his office at Harrison Motors when his attorney calls. "Derek, we have a problem. Someone's asking questions. Campaign contributions, complaints from women, the whole network." "Who?" "My source says it's connected to Ellis Development Group." Derek frowns. "Ellis? That's my landlord, some Atlanta company. Why would they care?" "I don't know, but I pulled the filings. The founder is William Ellis." The name means nothing. Derek Googles it anyway. The first result, Forbes. William Ellis, how one developer reshaped Atlanta's skyline. Net worth, $1.5 billion. His mouth goes dry. He scrolls to a society page. A photograph from a charity gala. William Ellis in a tuxedo. Beside him, in a silver dress, one hand on her pregnant belly, Penelope. His Penny, his ex-wife. She married a billionaire. She married the man who owns his building. Derek's hand shakes as he sets down the phone. He stares at the framed lease agreement on his wall. He has been paying rent to Penny's husband for 6 years. $2 million. The calls begin that afternoon. Sheriff Tom Bradley first. "Derek, I got a call from the governor's office. They're asking about complaints filed against you. I can't protect you from this." Commissioner Hendricks next. "Ellis called me. He knows about the donations. The FBI is opening an inquiry. My name is on a list. So is yours." Derek slams down the phone. Through his attorney, Derek Harrison released a statement. "This is a coordinated attack by my ex-wife's wealthy husband. Mr. Harrison is a small business owner being targeted by a billionaire with unlimited resources. He maintains his innocence and will vigorously defend himself." The statement runs in the Ashford Gazette. It does not stop the investigation. On November 8th, Derek's attorney sends a cease and desist to Sandra Moore, threatening a $2 million lawsuit. The Tribune's lawyers review Sandra's evidence. They tell her to keep digging. An anonymous donor covers legal costs. On November 10th, Derek makes a mistake. He texts Penny directly at 11:48 p.m. "Tell your rich husband to back off. You don't know what I'm capable of." Penny screenshots the message, forwards it to Raymond Cross. Cross forwards it to the FBI. On November 12th, Sheriff Bradley requests a meeting with William. Off the record. They meet at a coffee shop in Buckhead. Mr. Ellis? Bradley is sweating. Derek Harrison is a respected member of our community. Sheriff. William's voice is ice. Your department buried 4 complaints against Harrison. You accepted $60,000 from a man you were actively protecting. I didn't know. You knew. William sets down his coffee. Cooperate with the federal investigation, or become the subject of one. Bradley leaves without finishing his drink. The ground beneath Derek Harrison is crumbling, and he still has not realized he is standing on William Ellis's land. The next few days bring escalating pressure from all directions. Sandra Moore publishes the first article in her series on November 13th. The headline, Pattern of Complaints Against Ashford Businessman Raises Questions About Local Law Enforcement. The article does not name Derek Harrison directly. Tribune lawyers insisted on careful language, but anyone in Ashford knows exactly who it describes. Derek's phone rings constantly. Customers canceling orders, business partners expressing concern, his own employees asking questions he cannot answer. On November 14th, 2 more commissioners, Patricia Webb and James Thornton, announce they will not seek re-election. Both cite family reasons. Russell Davis, chief of detectives, retains a criminal defense attorney. Derek watches his carefully constructed world begin to unravel. He responds the only way he knows how, with aggression. On November 15th, his attorney files a defamation lawsuit against Sandra Moore personally, separate from the Tribune. The suit demands $5 million in damages. Sandra does not flinch. She has been sued before. She will be sued again. That same day, Derek drives past Penny's school 3 times. He does not stop. He does not get out. But he makes sure she sees him. Penny reports the behavior to the FBI. Agent Reeves adds it to the file. He's escalating, Cross tells William that evening. Classic pattern. He feels his control slipping, so he's trying to reassert it. Is Penny safe? I've arranged private security, discreet. She won't even notice they're there. William nods. What about the grand jury? Agent Reeves says they're assembling evidence now. Should be ready to convene by Thanksgiving. Good. William looks out the window at the Atlanta skyline. Let him keep escalating. Every move he makes now is another count on the indictment. Derek Harrison, desperate and angry and afraid, continues to dig his own grave. He just doesn't know it yet. November 15th. The emergency room at Piedmont Atlanta Hospital. Penny lies on a narrow bed, monitors beeping, a blood pressure cuff tight around her arm. The fluorescent lights turn everything pale. The room smells of antiseptic and fear. Braxton Hicks contractions. False labor. Not dangerous. Yet. But her blood pressure is elevated. The doctor uses words like stress and bed rest. William sits beside her, his hand wrapped around hers. He has not spoken in 20 minutes. Is this worth it? Penny asks. The question hangs in the sterile air. She stares at the ceiling, counts the tiles, 12 across, 8 down. 4 years, she says. I spent 4 years getting away from him, building a life, finding you. And now I'm in a hospital because of him. Again. The monitor beeps, steady, mechanical, indifferent. I just want to be left alone. I just want to raise my baby in peace. William does not answer immediately. He is thinking about the FBI inquiry, the Tribune story, the commissioners scrambling, the web he has spent 3 weeks dismantling. You deserve peace, he finally says. You deserve to be left alone. He pauses. But if we stop now, what happens to the next woman? Penny closes her eyes. There are 3 others. Amanda Cole, Jennifer Walsh, Rachel Adams. They filed complaints. The system failed them because Derek Harrison paid it to fail. The monitor beeps. If we stop, he learns that money works, that intimidation works, that people always give up. Penny thinks about Amanda Cole, a name on a piece of paper, a woman who stood where she stands now and had no one to catch her. I'm not asking you to fight, William says. Whatever you choose, I'm here. I know. She opens her eyes. You'll be here. This is the moment most people give up. They are tired. They are scared. The system has failed them again and again. But Penny Ellis is not most people. Let me think, she whispers. William nods, squeezes her hand. Outside the window, Atlanta glitters. Somewhere out there, Derek Harrison sleeps soundly, confident he has won. Penny watches the city and feels the weight of a choice she is not ready to make. 48 hours later, her phone rings. The caller ID shows a name she does not recognize. Lisa Grant. Mrs. Ellis? My name is Lisa. I used to work at Harrison Motors. I saw what he did to those women. Penny sits up straight. I have things you need to hear. The hospital releases Penny the next morning with strict instructions. Reduce stress, stay hydrated, rest. She tries. She really tries. But every time she closes her eyes, she sees Derek's face through the Escalade window. She hears Brittany's laugh. She feels the mud soaking through her coat. William works from home, canceling meetings, staying close. He brings her tea. He reads to her from a book about baby names. He pretends everything is normal. It is not normal. Nothing about this is normal. On the second night, Penny wakes at 3 a.m. from a nightmare she cannot remember. Her heart is racing. Her daughter is kicking. William is already awake, watching her. I keep thinking about them, she says. Amanda, Jennifer, Rachel. They were alone. They had no one. You're not alone. I know. She touches his face. That's why I can't quit. Because I have what they didn't. I have resources. I have you. If I give up now, what was the point of any of it? William is quiet for a long moment. Are you sure? No. She manages a small smile. But I'm going to do it anyway. The next morning, Lisa Grant calls, and everything changes. They meet at a coffee shop in Decatur, far from Ashford. Lisa Grant is 31 years old, nervous hands wrapped around a latte she has not touched. She was the receptionist at Harrison Motors for 4 years before she quit in 2022. I saw everything, she says. The way he treated women who came in alone, the comments, the touches that lasted too long. Penny listens. Amanda Cole worked in accounting. Derek cornered her in the break room. She filed a complaint. 2 days later, she was fired. What happened to the complaint? Same thing that happened to all of them. Lisa's voice is bitter. The sheriff's office said they couldn't find evidence. Amanda left town. She produces a folder. Names, dates, incidents. 3 pages, single-spaced. Jennifer Walsh was his girlfriend before Brittany. When she tried to leave, he followed her for weeks. She filed a restraining order. Denied. How? The judge bought his Lexus from Derek. Penny stares at the folder. Why now? She asks. Why are you coming forward? Lisa meets her eyes. Because you didn't give up. I heard Derek screaming at his lawyers. He's scared. For the first time in 15 years, he's actually scared. She slides the folder across the table. I can't stay quiet anymore. The next week brings more voices. Sandra Moore tracks down Amanda Cole in Savannah. Amanda agrees to speak on the record. Jennifer Walsh sends a notarized statement from Charlotte. Rachel Adams writes to the FBI tip line. Pastor David Coleman of Ashford First Baptist issues a statement. If William Ellis says there is corruption in our county, we believe him. The NAACP calls for an independent investigation. Local business owners distance themselves from Derek Harrison. Penny watches the tide shift from her living room. How does it feel? William asks. She considers the question. Like I'm not alone. For the first time in years. Like someone finally believes me. William pulls her close. They believe you because you told the truth. Everything else follows from that. The FBI inquiry expands on November 20th. Derek Harrison's world is closing in. The shift happens faster than anyone expected. Within days of Lisa Grant coming forward, 2 more former employees contact Sandra Moore. Then a customer who witnessed Derek's behavior at the dealership. Then a woman who dated him briefly in 2015. Each story is different. Each story is the same. He's been doing this for years, Sandra tells her editor. The only reason he's never faced consequences is because he bought the people who were supposed to hold him accountable. The Tribune runs the second article on November 19th. This one names Derek Harrison directly. It includes quotes from Lisa Grant and Amanda Cole. It details the campaign contributions, the archived complaints, the pattern of protection. Derek's attorneys threaten to sue. The Tribune's lawyers invite them to try. On November 20th, FBI agent Daniel Reeves calls William Ellis. We're convening a grand jury. Based on the evidence you've provided and our own investigation, we have enough to proceed. William hangs up, looks at Penny. It's happening. She takes a deep breath, places her hand on her belly. Good. Calvin Brown does not trust the police. He is 28 years old, a security guard at Eastgate Shopping Center. He has seen how complaints get handled in Ashford, which is to say, they do not. On October 15th, he watched a man in a black Escalade deliberately splash a pregnant woman with mud. He watched her stand there, dripping, while the man laughed. His dash cam recorded everything. He kept the footage. He did not give it to police. On November 20th, Raymond Cross finds him. Mr. Brown, I understand you were working on October 15th. Calvin tenses. Who's asking? Someone who wants to help the woman who got splashed. Cross shows his credentials. I'm not with Ashford Police. Calvin studies him. I kept the footage. I knew no one would believe a black woman over a rich white guy in this town. Cross nods. Would you share it with the FBI? Calvin laughs. FBI? For real? For real. A pause. Ellis? The man who built Riverside Community Center? He's behind this? Cross neither confirms nor denies. Yeah, Calvin says. I trust him. The dashcam video is clear. Timestamp 10/15/2024, 14:07:33. It shows the Escalade rolling toward the puddle, the deliberate acceleration, the wall of mud, Derek Harrison's license plate. No ambiguity, no plausible deniability. Cross delivers the footage to FBI agent Reeves on November 21st. But that is not the only evidence. Penny has been keeping secrets too. On October 22nd, she started carrying her phone with voice recorder running. Georgia is a one-party consent state. On November 23rd, she plays the recording for William. Derek's voice. You think moving on means I let you go? I will destroy you, Penny. I will take everything. Your job, your husband, that baby. William listens 3 times. The Bureau has this. Raymond gave it to them this morning, along with the dash cam and the financial records. The financial records. Cross found more than corruption. He found crime, title washing, odometer fraud, unreported cash transactions, federal crimes that belong to the FBI. On November 24th, Agent Reeves calls William. We're convening the grand jury. Derek Harrison, Sheriff Bradley, Russell Davis. Anyone the evidence points to. William hangs up, looks at Penny. It's time. The night before the grand jury convenes, Penny cannot sleep. She stands at the window of their bedroom, looking out at the Atlanta skyline. Her daughter kicks against her palm. Nervous? William asks from the bed. Terrified. He joins her at the window. You don't have to testify. We have enough evidence without... I want to. She turns to face him. I need to. For Amanda, for Jennifer, for Rachel, for all the women who never got to tell their story. William nods. Then I'll be there. Right outside the door. You can't come in. Grand jury rules. I know, but I'll be there anyway. She leans into him, feels his arms wrap around her. Feels safe for the first time in weeks. What happens after? She asks. After the indictment? After all of it. The trial. The verdict. Whatever comes next. William considers the question. We build, he says finally. That's what we do. We build something better than what was there before. Penny thinks about the empty building where Harrison Motors used to be, about the community health center William plans to put there. I like that, she says. They stand together at the window, watching the city lights. Tomorrow, everything changes. November 25th, Federal Courthouse, Atlanta. Derek Harrison arrives with 3 attorneys. Expensive suits, confident strides. He wears a charcoal blazer and a smile that does not reach his eyes. The smile fades when he sees the evidence list. 52 counts. Stalking, harassment, wire fraud, tax evasion, conspiracy to obstruct justice, 15 to 25 years. The grand jury room is closed to the public, but the story leaks through attorneys and clerks. Derek invokes the Fifth Amendment. Every question, every count. Did you deliberately splash Penelope Ellis with mud? Fifth Amendment. Did you send threatening texts to your ex-wife? Fifth Amendment. Did you contribute money to Sheriff Bradley expecting favorable treatment? Fifth Amendment. The evidence speaks for him. Dash cam footage, audio recordings, text messages, emails, financial records, testimony from Lisa Grant, Amanda Cole, Jennifer Walsh. A pattern spanning 8 years. 5 women. A system designed to silence them. Sheriff Bradley resigned that morning. Russell Davis is negotiating cooperation. Commissioner Hendricks resigned 3 days ago. Derek Harrison's attorney released a statement. This is a politically motivated witch hunt by a billionaire with unlimited resources. Mr. Harrison maintains his innocence and looks forward to clearing his name. The grand jury deliberates 6 hours. They return an indictment on all 52 counts. Bail, $750,000. GPS monitoring. No contact with Penny or any witness. Derek writes the check with shaking hands. Outside the courthouse, cameras flash. A black sedan pulls up. William Ellis steps out. He is not here to gloat. He is here to take his wife home. Penny emerges from a side door, escorted by marshals. She looks tired. She looks relieved. Across the plaza, Derek is led to the bail bondsman. He sees William. Sees Penny. William meets his gaze. Does not smile. He simply nods. Once. Then he opens the car door for his wife, and they drive away. The drive home is quiet. Penny watches the city pass through the window. The courthouse shrinking behind them. The skyline growing ahead. How do you feel? William asks. She considers the question carefully. Empty, she says finally. I thought I'd feel, I don't know, triumphant, vindicated. And you don't? I feel tired. She touches her belly. I feel like I've been carrying something heavy for a very long time, and I just set it down. William reaches for her hand. That's not nothing. No, she agrees. It's not. They drive in silence for a while. He looked scared, Penny says. When they read the counts, when he realized what was happening, he should be scared. I know. She pauses. I wanted him to be scared. I wanted him to feel what I felt. But now that I've seen it, she trails off. It doesn't feel as good as you thought it would. No. It just feels necessary. William squeezes her hand. That's because you're not like him, he says quietly. You never wanted to hurt anyone. You just wanted to be safe. Penny closes her eyes. I want to go home, she says. I want to sleep in my own bed. And tomorrow, I want to start thinking about the future. The nursery needs painting. She laughs, the first real laugh in weeks. Yellow, with ducks. With ducks, William agrees. They drive toward home, toward tomorrow, toward the rest of their lives. 3 months later. The building that once housed Harrison Motors sits empty. A new sign stands at the entrance. Future home of Ashford Community Health Center, an Ellis development project. Derek Harrison awaits trial. The GPS monitor on his ankle blinks green. Sheriff Tom Bradley accepted a plea deal. 3 years federal prison. Russell Davis cooperated with prosecutors. 18 months, suspended. He will never work in law enforcement again. Sandra Moore won the Georgia Press Association Award. Her series ran for 6 parts. Calvin Brown was promoted to head of security at Ashford Town Center. On January 15th, Penelope Ellis gives birth to a daughter. Eleanor Grace Ellis, 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Perfect. William holds her in the delivery room and cries. 2 weeks later, Penny returns to Sunshine Academy. She drives her Honda down Ashford Boulevard, past the empty dealership, through the intersection where she once drove in fear. It is raining. The road is wet. Puddles gather at the curb. She does not slow down. She does not flinch. She just drives. Derek Harrison thought mud could break her. He was wrong. She had already walked through fire. Some people believe power means making others afraid. William Ellis knows better. Power means building something that lasts. Penny Ellis understood this before she met either of them. She just needed someone who saw it too. If this story stayed with you, if you have ever been told your voice does not matter, share it. Subscribe. The receipt always comes due.